So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session as part of our Science and Engineering Hub for Open Day 2021. So my name is Gavin Collins. I'm the Vice Dean for Student Recruitment in the College of Science and Engineering. And I'll be joined in this session by a good colleague of mine, Constantina, from the School of Chemistry here at NUI Galway. So I'll start this session with just a few slides to give you an idea about the activities in chemistry here at Galway. And then we'll have a conversation along the way with Constantina about chemistry, but we'll also touch a little on medicinal chemistry and biopharmaceutical chemistry. Just bear in mind that there is a separate video which will be available to you on our hub on biopharmaceutical chemistry, biochemistry, and biotechnology. But anyway, let's go ahead and think a little bit about chemistry here at NUI Galway. So a few numbers to give you an idea about the scale of the effort in teaching and learning in chemistry here first. Over 800 first-year students will study chemistry this year. So it's a subject that's taken by many students across different pathways and programs, not just in our main science degree. At the same time, we have over 40 PhD students and 10 master's students in the School of Chemistry in any given year. Our courses are accredited by the Royal Society of Chemistry, which is important for your employment afterwards. On an annual basis, we offer 40 honours degrees. So our students will graduate with honours degrees in chemistry. And we collaborate with nearly 500 other institutions around the world. So chemistry colleagues in the university are very research active and are engaging at the frontier of the field. If you have to think about it, you'll probably realize that chemistry is all around us. It underpins most of life that you can think about and all of the pathways that you study in biology and indeed many of the materials that surround you. So Constantina is with me, and I think you might agree that this is a good example, Constantina, in the case of this ice cream. So perhaps you might help me out on this, that most of the components in this ice cream actually depend on chemistry, don't they? So even, for example, the flavors.
Well, absolutely. Not only the flavors, but the proteins, the nutritions, and of course, not only in ice cream, but in all foods and everywhere around us. If we look around everywhere, we can see chemistry around us.
Indeed. So this is chemistry in action then, isn't it? Because in the case of this simple example of an ice cream, the flavors are chemicals, and scientists have worked on producing those and refining those so that they can achieve the flavors and the conditions which they want to achieve in the final product. But equally, the stabilizers which allow the ice cream to be at the consistency that's required for customers. The structure is also informed by chemistry, but so too is the proportions of fats, proteins, and emulsifiers. So I think perhaps this is just one good example of where we can see chemistry underpinning something in our daily lives. So many of our colleagues here in the university in chemistry are working toward a smart future then, where different materials, different molecules, different means of synthesizing chemicals, and different applications will feature in our future lives. So for example, green chemistry, looking toward how we lead sustainable lives, combustion chemistry, how we burn the next generation of renewable biofuels, but equally the aspects of chemistry that face toward biology and drug discovery and computational informatics, and not least then how we can use chemistry for analytical science to measure chemicals in medical samples, in environmental samples, and how instrumentation in chemistry can be refined and innovated so that we can get better spectroscopy and all of the other instruments that we rely on in chemistry in industry today. So chemistry offers a multitude of opportunities, and chemists will be involved in all of those different areas of life as important scientists. And it's why many companies require chemists, and many of those companies indeed are located in Ireland. So a chemistry degree will unlock a variety of different careers for our graduates in many of the different companies, including the pharmaceutical companies that are located here. So indeed, 8 of the top 10 global pharmaceutical companies are located here in Ireland, employing over 50,000 people. So you can see immediately the opportunities that exist for chemistry graduates. And 11 of the world's top 13 medtech companies in particular have invested significantly in Ireland. And you can see all of the examples there on the screen. And this is the case also in Galway. This is a map of some of the important companies in the medtech and pharma and industrial landscape in Galway. So you can see that it's quite a busy landscape with lots of international companies located here. And those companies have relationships with us in the university then, which opens up further opportunities for our students, including our chemistry students. So where else might you be trained for if you had a chemistry degree? Here are just some examples of people with a chemistry background. They include Angela Merkel, various politicians, including Margaret Thatcher. Indeed, Pope Francis has a background in chemistry. So you might find chemistry in some unexpected places as well. Right, so I think having said that, let's perhaps just have a little chat then, Konstantina. And I have some questions which I think perhaps our students might be thinking if they're considering chemistry at university. And the first one of those that occurs to me is, would a prospective chemistry student need to have studied chemistry for the Leaving Cert?
No, absolutely not. Of course, this would be helpful, but this is not an issue. In fact, in our first year class, only half of the students will have taken chemistry in the Leaving Cert. So our first year course is designed to be equally accessible to students with and without Leaving Cert chemistry. So this is not an issue at all.
Okay, so we assume that students don't have a chemistry background and we start from scratch in first year.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what might a first year student's life in chemistry look like then? So are there many, say, practical classes, and what's maybe the balance of lectures and lab classes?
Exactly, yeah. There are courses, lectures that the students have to attend, and lab work. Now, lab work is really important and enjoyable, I would say, and the students agree, enjoyable part of chemistry. So not only in the first year, but for the first 3 years of the studies, the students have lab work, which is really important because they will learn practical skills, and it will be helpful to understand better the lecture material. And as I said, it is enjoyable as well. Now, in the last year of the study, they will have the opportunity to do a research project, a novel research project with one of the academics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even thinking ahead to that final year, that fourth year project, which the students
Mhm.
will take. Presumably that project may be on a variety of different topics depending on the professor or lecturer who hosts or supervises that student then.
Exactly. So there is a variety of different projects, and the students will choose the project that they prefer, and they work on that.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. And this ranges from, I imagine, organic chemistry through to inorganic chemistry and maybe analytical and other areas.
Absolutely, all different aspects of chemistry, as you said, inorganic, organic, physical chemistry, analytical chemistry. There are many different projects that cover all the different areas of chemistry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what about if somebody was, say, worried about maths? Do chemistry students need to be strong on mathematics?
No, I mean, they shouldn't have many difficulties on that. To be honest, the first year maths modules will be taught on a level above of the ordinary level in Living Cert. But as I said, I wouldn't say that they should have many difficulties because we offer a service called SUMS, Support for Undergraduate Math Students, which is offered for free and is really popular and really helpful for the students. And of course, I have to say that if a student doesn't like maths, they will be able to avoid it from the second year of the studies if they don't choose maths. I mean, they can
Sure.
avoid it.
And I assume that this is something that will be mentioned in the mathematics session as well. That service you've just mentioned, Constantina, SUMS,
Yeah,
SUMS, is a really popular service, I think, with our students, and it's a drop-in service in the School of Mathematics where our colleagues and PhD students will help and offer advice to our undergrads who are taking maths as any part of their course. So students don't need to be majoring in maths. They can be taking maths as any part of their course in order to avail of that service. So I think that's something very useful that you've brought up. So thanks for that.
right.
Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sure visitors will appreciate it. Um, so if you want to study chemistry then, the different ways in which you can study it are through our main degree GY 301 uh, or our standalone direct entry degree, which is biopharmaceutical chemistry. Isn't that correct?
Exactly, yeah. So biopharmaceutical chemistry is a denominated degree, so the students will be able to choose that before they start. And the general chemistry and medicinal chemistry, it's under the general science pathway, as you said, 301, exactly, yeah.
Okay,
Um,
so there are two chemistry pathways then in our GY 301 degree, chemistry and medicinal chemistry.
exactly, yeah,
Okay.
exactly, yes.
Uh, so if students wish to get onto those pathways, they need to apply to GY 301 on their CAO applications.
Exactly, yeah, for chemistry and for medicinal chemistry, they need to apply to GY 301.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And could you tell me then, Constantina, because I'm sure people are wondering, what is the difference, say, between the chemistry degree and the medicinal chemistry degree?
Well, the difference between the chemistry and medicinal chemistry is pretty clear. I mean, in the chemistry degree, they will have the opportunity to study all different aspects of chemistry, as I said before, inorganic, organic, physical chemistry for a variety of many different applications. Now, in medicinal chemistry, they will be focused mostly on the synthesis and properties of smaller drug molecules. So it's more specific. Now, in biopharmaceutical chemistry, which is some people might wonder what's the difference of biopharmaceutical and medicinal chemistry. In
Mhm.
biopharmaceutical chemistry, They will be focused mostly on the study of proteins and other naturally occurring molecules that are used in medicine, for example, vaccines, like um, now. So yeah, I mean, chemistry is more general. It's related to all different applications of chemistry. Medicinal chemistry is related to the synthesis of smaller drugs, and biopharmaceutical is related to naturally occurring molecules that can be used in medicine.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Good. And indeed, there, as I said, will be a separate video which explains in a little bit more detail the biopharmaceutical chemistry degree, and our visitors will be able to see that on our website as well. So maybe coming towards the end of our conversation then, I might ask, uh, what are the career opportunities for chemistry graduates? Which types of areas might they expect to find employment in?
Okay, they will have many different opportunities. Of course, one of them is in education. They can work in education. But apart from that, there are many industries that are related to a chemistry degree. And as you said in the presentation, there are many pharmaceutical or chemistry industries in Ireland. But in addition to that, during their studies, the students will get many transferable skills. They will learn many transferable skills like problem solving, presentation, that will be useful. They will open up opportunities in different sectors that, for example, like finance or IT or consultants. So it's not just in chemistry. In chemistry, they will get opportunities in industry, as we said, or education, but the skills that they will get, they will open up opportunities in different sectors as well.
So there are some very obvious places, and there's a variety of those, but there are also perhaps some less obvious places, I guess, when students can use those transferable skills. Is that correct?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So thanks very much, Konstantina. Perhaps before we go, um, I might just ask you a little bit about your own research, so that we get to learn a little bit more about you. What's your main interests?
Well, I am an inorganic chemist, so my main interest is to prepare, to synthesize new, let's say, new compounds that have pores, that they have empty space inside, where we can encapsulate drugs, for example, or any other species. But in my research, I'm focused on drugs. So eventually we will develop new drug carriers for important anti-cancer drugs that are effective, but they might not be stable for a long time in the body. So we need something to protect them and also help them target the cells, the cancer cells, for example. So and we do that by synthesizing new compounds, and we characterize them and we study their drug delivery properties.
I
Yeah,
see.
this is.
So this is another one of these smart ways in which to deliver drugs, and perhaps is a good example of where chemistry meets medicine and biology as well.
Exactly, yes, right.
Indeed. Good. And very lastly, I know that you're also active in public engagement and in a program called Kitchen Chemistry. So that's something our new students might want to get involved in, I imagine.
Well, yeah, kitchen chemistry and in general, the outreach program in chemistry is related to reach out to schools and uh, go to schools or give the opportunity to schools to visit us and do experiments and uh, basically that's all. I mean, describe to different levels. I mean, from living certs schools to small children, like from actually 4 years old and older, to give them the opportunity to do experiments, simple experiments, and understand also the importance of chemistry in different levels in life.
Excellent. Thanks so much. So if our visitors have other questions, they'll be able to ask them in the live Q&A session from about 1 or 1:30 onwards. But in the meantime, thank you very much, Konstantina, for joining me. I'm sure
I
people will
thank you
find.
so much. Thank you,
Okay, thank
Gavin.
you. Bye.